Okay,
yeah.
Mr. Nesbo, we wish you a very warm welcome here in Zagreb.
Thank you.
And we are really, really glad that you visited our home of GNK Dinamo. At the beginning, let me ask you, just to be sure, what is the real pronunciation of your name? We heard a lot of different variations.
Well, I accept any attempt at my name. In Norwegian, it's Jo Nesbø, but when I go to abroad, it's basically Jo Nesbø. That is what most people call me, and I'm fine with that.
So we will call you Jo Nesbø.
Ah, that's great. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Nesbø. What are your impressions of Zagreb? We know that it is not your first visit here, and there is no doubt that you have a huge fan bases here.
I always had a great time coming here to Zagreb. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch Dinamo this time. They were supposed to play today, and I'm leaving for Oslo tomorrow. But apart from that, I've seen so much of Zagreb coming here earlier. Even traveling a bit outside the city and go climbing. But also, I mean, it's a beautiful city, and the people here are great. So I really enjoy myself here.
Okay, we made a little tour through the stadium. So, what are your first impressions with the interior of the stadium?
Well, first of all, it's the first. I've been to a number of stadiums in my life. I think it's the only stadium where I've seen a chapel where you can go and have a prayer before the match. And I was informed that you're not allowed to pray for your own team to win. Which makes sense because that means somebody else is going to lose. So it's in my mind I've sort of baptized it into the room of prayers for a draw, which seems fair.
Only if this draw helps to the other team, or at least do not harm to the other.
Well, then again, I played for Molde when I was young, and Molde played two famous draws against Zagreb in 2015. It didn't help Molde much because in those days it was away goal rules. So it meant that we played 1-1 here and then 3-3 in Molde, which meant that Zagreb went on to play in the Champions League.
As I can see, you remember that game vividly. So we had a 3-0 lead after 22 minutes. So what were your thoughts in that moment?
Well, at that point, it was all taken care of. I mean, Zagreb was going to the Champions League for sure. But then Molde sort of turned the match around. We had 3 penalties in that, but we missed 2 penalties, and we had 1 red card. So we were down 3 goals and 1 man. Still, we scored 3 goals. So it ended 3-3. I wish I could have said that we were really close to scoring a 4th goal. We had a couple of chances, half chances, but actually it wasn't as if we were that close to beating Zagreb. And I mean, you had a good team, and you trashed us in the first half of the match. So it was fair, I guess.
Hopefully, remembering that game and knowing that Molde and Dinamo have the same colors, hopefully we have a new fan here in you. Oh
yeah, you had a fan for years. I like the colors of the club. I like the year the club was founded in 1911, same year as Molde. So yeah, we have a lot in common, and we're also producing players that we keep for a little while, and then we have to export them, like Molde has done now with Haaland, who's playing for Dortmund, and next year maybe for an even bigger club.
This stadium, you already saw the interior, but when you look at it from the outside, could it be a site for one of your novels?
I don't know really. I sort of stayed away from soccer and music. There are no stories about people in bands or people playing football in my stories. Maybe because it's I'm a little too much into that myself. So I like more the eyes of the outsider. So I haven't really moved into those milieus, actually. So the short answer is probably no.
Okay, we've heard that you, of course, fan of Molde and Tottenham. In recent years, GNK Dinamo beat both of your teams. So do you feel comfortable here?
I do. I mean, it's especially against Tottenham. It was really impressive. I mean, everybody thought that, you know, Tottenham would take care of that for sure. And then you actually were able to beat a big team like Tottenham. That's just impressive. So, although I'm a Tottenham fan, I'm also always a fan of or supporting the underdog. And you were definitely the underdog in that match.
Okay, you sold more than 50 million copies of your books worldwide. They have been translated to more than 50 languages. So, what do you prefer to be called, Messi or Ronaldo of modern literature, or maybe Luka Modric, who played for Dinamo and Tottenham?
Yeah, I mean, Modric, that's phenomenal. I mean, he's now 36 or something. And he's still getting better as a soccer player, so that is really impressive. Myself, I think that Ronaldo, he is or was the great athlete of football, but Messi is the player whose feet's been touched by the gods. So I would definitely, if I could choose, be called Messi.
Okay, who was your idol in your childhood, football idol?
That was Pelé, of course. I'm an old man now, so I was. I still remember Pelé, and then it was a couple of players on Tottenham. Martin Chivers was a great goal scorer, and lately, I mean, the generation. I mean, we will probably in 50 years will consider ourselves lucky to have been alive when Messi was at his best. I don't think I will see another player in my lifetime like that.
Okay, back to Molde. Last year you finished as a runners-up to Glimt.
Yeah.
Year before you were champions. What will happen this season?
Well, right now Glimt is back on the track. They're top of the table. Molde has not been playing that well. They still can win. I mean, in Norway the season has just started, but we won the cup final last Sunday, and I was there, and it was great. We beat Glimt 1-0, and I was behind the goal just when Molde scored the deciding goal. So we already had a good season, but of course we are hoping to regain the league title also.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You went to college to Bergen.
Yeah.
So you know about, of course, Brann Bergen. Do you cheer for all Norwegian teams in European competitions?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a great rivalry between especially Molde and Rosenborg, who I see that up on the wall here that you beat 2-0 back in the years. But even when Rosenborg is playing some other big foreign big teams, we of course root for Rosenborg. Norway is a small country. I mean, population of Croatia is what, 3.5 million. Norway is 5.5 million. So I guess it's the same here, that whenever our clubs, the clubs that we hate when they're playing our team, we cheer for them when they are playing, you know, Real Madrid or Milan or some other big team.
You know, GNK Dinamo has bad memories of Bergen because we lost the game against Brann. It was Europa League. And it was with Luka Modric and with Mario Mandzukic. We had a red card, of course.
Oh.
We lost 2-1, so
okay.
We had bad memories.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Not really, but a little, sorry.
Okay, just a little, okay. for the public purposes. Okay. You're a writer, you're an avid football fan and former player. You're also a rock climber, economist, musician. How do you find time for all those activities?
Well, nowadays I don't play football. It's a long time since I played football, as you could probably tell when we were practicing penalties outside. Well, I mean, Play music, I just do that in the summers now. We gather, the band gather, and we have like 15 gigs, that's the rule, 15 gigs every summer. So we get together, and that's 15 gigs is a perfect number. Then you're at the end of the tour, we're a quite tight and good band, and we're still friends. So then we can leave each other. And rock climbing I do all year round, and it's a perfect combination with riding, because you know you can they are so different, and the one thing is a break from the other. So yeah, I find the time. I mean I doesn't really, I don't have a real job. I don't have to get up in the morning. I doesn't have a boss, so I can decide what I want to do every day.
Okay, the name of your band is Dit Der, or how do you pronounce it?
Yes, it is. You're good at Norwegian, man. It's both Bodø/Glimt and my name, and these are perfect pronunciations.
Okay, thank you. From your hometown, Oslo, I know you grew up in Molde, but you were born in Oslo, if I'm right?
Yeah.
One of the most popular groups ever is a-ha with magnificent Morten Harket. I know it's not the same style of music that you play, but did they have any influence to you as a musician?
No, probably not. They were like more or less. I guess we started the band around the time that they got really popular, and they had a #1 hit in the United States and so on. But they are really nice guys. We know each other a little bit. So and now they are living in or around Oslo. So I meet them from time to time, and they are great musicians. They are, I would say, probably a bit underestimated as musicians and as songwriters, because I mean they are famous for Take On Me. But their image was sort of a half boy band image, but they are really great musicians.
But there is something symbolically. They made a song, The Living Daylights, especially made for one of James Bond movies, which could be considered as an analogy with Harry Hole, your character. Yeah.
Well, maybe I never thought about that.
Okay. Who was your inspiration for a Harry Hole character? Was there any model in real life?
There was a couple of characters, people I knew. I mean, it's a mix of different characters. Some characters from fiction also, and actually one football trainer, Nils Arne Eggen, who was the trainer of Rosenborg. When I was a soccer player, I met him. We played Rosenborg, and he was quite a character. So he was partly influencing Harry Hole, I guess. And also, his name is taken from our local football hero, Harry Hestad, who used to play professionally in Holland before he came back to Molde. And this was in the 70s, when Molde was down in 3rd division, and he came back and he brought back some other players who played for bigger clubs in Norway, and they all came back to Molde, and then they sent the team up to the Liga A in Norway.
But there were many Hestads played for Molde during the years.
Sorry?
There were many Hestads.
Yeah, you're well informed. Like I said, Molde is a small town. It's a population of 15,000 in the city, and football is a sort of been a father to son thing. So many of the players, they have fathers who played for the team.
Okay, when we see, or to be specific, when we read about Hole with all of his troubles, alcohol problems, depression as a smoker and drinker, man with just a few friends, oftenly arguing with his colleagues. How much similar is it to, let's say, Mel Gibson and his Martin Riggs character in popular movie Lethal Weapon?
Well, I guess there are some similarities. I guess that in the crime genre, you have when you choose the crime genre, you can choose. Do you accept sort of some of the cliches and the archetypes of the genre, or do you want to create something completely new? I've probably done a little bit of both, and I certainly embrace some of the cliches I love. I mean, the romantic, hard-drinking loner of a detective. It's a cliche, but I love it.
And people love it also.
Apparently, yeah.
Are there any similarity with your children's books character, Dr. Proctor, to, let's say, Doc Brown from Back to the Future trilogy? Except that part, as you named the children's book, Dr. Proctor's fart powder.
Yeah, well, it's. I guess there are some similarities to all the stories, but basically it was actually my daughter who came up with the characters. Or she didn't come up with the characters, but she used me as a storytelling jukebox, and so she ordered me, you know, come on, Daddy, tell a story, come up with a story, and I would ask, okay, so what do you want in the story? So she would sort of give me the ingredients, which would be certain elements or characters that she wanted in the story. So that's how Dr. Proctor's fart powder came around.
Can we say that your Dr. Proctor had a kind of a spin-off in Big Bang Theory as Professor Proton, if you know?
Yeah. I would be very surprised if they would admit that it's the idea is taken from Dr. Proctor, but I'd be very pleased if they told me so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.